Hey everyone, David A. Cox here with PCClassesOnline.com. You know, building a website is one of those things that can be really scary if you've never tried it before. But today we're going to show you how to do the whole thing right here from an iPad. Now, this class is broken into two different segments. Part one is how to do it on the iPad initially. I am advising you're going to probably want to do some touch-up work on a computer. But what's great about the software we're going to teach you today is it's universal, so it works on a PC or a Mac. So I hope you enjoy it. Here is how to build a website on your iPad, coming up on PCClassesOnline.com.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. This is David A. Cox, and today we are talking about how to build a website from your iPad. Now, this is a live class. We have people tuning in from all over the world. We have people in the UK, Sweden. I see one from Finland, Canada, Australia. One just joined us from Mexico, Chile. So we have a great international crowd here. If any of you tuning in after the fact would like to join one of our live classes, they are free. PC Classes Online is a free public service. We just ask that you tell your friends. You can find out everything, of course, on our website at PCClassesOnline.com. So today, in talking about building a website, we're going to basically break today's class into two segments. First part is going to be me showing you how to do the initial build on an iPad. Part two is going to involve a computer. So what we're going to do is we're going to do, in order to keep these classes free, we have to do the little ads that you see before the videos. That's how we're able to keep all of this free. So there's going to be a little commercial break in the middle, and then when we come back, we'll do the web version, which for those of you who are in business is going to be really helpful, because we're going to show you tips about being able to sell products online, stuff like that. Before we get started here, I want to just start off with a very important piece of advice that I would like to give all of you. For those of you who don't know me, I have a small business where I work privately one-on-one with individuals, couples, businesses of all different sizes, and there's a few things I like to warn people about before they go building a website. It is very important, in my opinion, that you go with a good domain provider and good host also for your website. And there's a lot of different companies out there. I'm not going to speak poorly about any of them. I just want to give you the only one that I actually recommend to my clients. It's who we use for PC Classes Online. It's who I use for my small business. I swear by them. Bluehost.com. By the way, any of the products or websites that I should mention over the course of this class will all be found in the section below. If you're watching it on our website, it'll be just beneath the video. If you're watching us on YouTube, there's a little button just beneath the video. I can never remember how they phrase it. I want to say it's more info, but no, it's show more. If you click on that, it'll expand and you'll see links to everything that I mentioned today. Bluehost.com, I recommend for a couple of reasons. The first is, we're in the United States. I appreciate working with someone within the United States, just my preference. But also what I love is they have 24/7 support, and most importantly is they have native IMAP support. And for those of you who just blinked and went, huh? What? What's that? Let's go over that. IMAP has to do with your email. So for example, if you want your website, if you want to have email that's your name at yourwebsite.com or .org or whatever it may be, there's two different types of email technology out there. This has come up a few times in our past classes, but it's worth reviewing briefly. There's POP and there's IMAP. So let me give you examples of both. With POP, when I send an email to you, if you're using POP, I am not really emailing you. I'm kind of emailing them, and they email a copy to you. And the problem with this is that if you use multiple devices to check your email, like for example a computer, a tablet, a smartphone, you're going to get a copy of that email on each device. It's not going to sync. So you have to delete it here, you have to delete it there, you have to delete it everywhere. Pain in the butt. IMAP will sync. That's what I use, and that's what I always recommend to my clients. So with some of the different internet, the domain providers out there, they don't give you that option, or it's like an extra fee. and so suddenly they're not the cheapest option like they advertised. So if you go with Bluehost, it's who I tend to recommend. They're just a really easy company to work with, and I don't, by the way, get any kickbacks for that. It's just good advice, that's all. So today we're going to start building the website using this really handy tool. This is an app that you get on the iPad. It's called Weebly. They also have a website. And so what I'm going to do today is, together, we are going to build a website. Oops, that's not it. Let's go there. We're going to build a website live today. And what I'm going to do is show you that, a few of these few elements of building a website can be done from an iPad, but a lot of the custom features, the really nice features to add things like products or custom HTML, all of those can be done from the computer. So it's nice in that you can start your build on an iPad, polish it on a computer, Mac or PC. It's all web-based, so it doesn't matter what you have. Hell, you could even use a Chromebook and do this. And then you can add in those extra key features on your computer. But then, like, let's say you're at your store, if you have a store, and you need to update a photo, you can do that from the iPad. So the iPad is great for the initial build, and it's also great for management. Because let's say you need to put up some sort of a notice that you're going to be closed tomorrow due to snow. You can do that really, really quickly. You don't have to go calling some web guru at 3 in the morning telling them, hey, update my website. One of the things I found in working with my clients is that one of the problems a lot of people have had with web designers is communication, where the web designer is just so overwhelmed with work. They get a message in from someone to change a photo, and it's weeks before it actually, takes place, if ever. So what's nice with this is it's giving you the power to be able to update and manage things as necessary. So when you go into Weebly and you create an account, by the way, creating the account is free. You only have to pay for certain features, and I do recommend their paid plans. Even if you go with just the basic one, it gives you a lot of features that you don't get with the free version. So when you first go in here, they bring you all of these really cool templates. And I'm going to give you, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to give you a bunch of little extras over the course of this class. There are some other templates that you can get, which I'll mention at the end. So here we have a bunch. This is just kind of all of the templates, but you can also break them down by category. So first we have business templates. There's 3 listed here. We have creative templates and not-for-profit. Okay, now just because this template is not for profit doesn't mean you can't use it for business. It's just in their example that they're giving you, it's going to look that way. So what I've done is before the class, I went on to Google Images and just, can we say borrowed a couple of images, since this website that we're going to be building today isn't actually going to be live. But we're going to build a fake bakery. And what I would like to ask the people who are here live right now is if you wouldn't mind just taking 2 seconds, type into your chat, let me know a little bit about what kind of business you have or that you're looking to start, just so I have kind of an idea. Sometimes it helps me in creating these classes. So we can go through all these templates. The one we're going to stick with today, let's see here, where did I put it? I think we're going to let's try this one right here. Okay, you can see it's right there at the, now at the top right. When you tap on the one that you want, just hit choose. You can see another one of my sites in the background there. Chip Capelli, who did all of our classes on QuickBooks. And we're about to do a few more classes with him. So give me a second, it's just downloading all the information here. Okay, great. So here we have kind of our dummy website. And I'm going to start to walk you through the different tools as far as adding different elements to it, how to change things around. So here we go. The first thing I want to do is show you where the different elements actually are. If you look at the top right corner of my screen, it says Edit. We're going to tap on that. You can actually also get that by just kind of swiping your finger from right to left. And it pulls over this little tab, and we have 3 different tabs here. We have Build, Pages, and Design. Now, a lot of what you see here, there is actually more to it. It's just that some of these elements you can only deal with from the web and being from a computer. So you can see here, we can add elements like a title, text, an image, gallery of images, a map, A divider line is sort of like a paragraph, a new paragraph in web terms. It's a break in thought, new idea. Sometimes you just need like a space to keep blank. That's what a spacer is for. You can, of course, add a button, search box, HD video, YouTube video, a file, block quote, and social icons. There's a lot more from the web end, and I will show you those later on today. Anytime you want to add a new page to your website, it's as simple as going over here to Pages and click where it says Add Page. So, for example, today, let's add a page. We'll just call it Testimonials. Okay, and when you're creating a new page, there's all sorts of different designs that you can use. Now, if you look here, the next item down is page layout. It says no header. So the graphic that you see here in the background, this right here is a tall header. Okay, it's this option, this middle option right here. The other options you have are a splash page, a landing page, tall header, short header, or no header. It's just basically how much info do you want at the very, very top of the page. I personally tend to try to stay away from landing pages and splash pages. Splash pages were really big in the 90s. They're really not that big now. So I tend to keep it with either tall header or short header or none. So for this one, we'll just keep it at no header. You can see another few other options we have here is you can hide the page so that it doesn't appear in the top menu. Okay, so like here it says Home, About, Contact. Okay, it won't appear there if you turn that feature on. You can also password protect it. Now that's going to be one password for everyone for that whole page. So for example, if you need to put up employee schedules, okay, you might want to make that a hidden page and password protect it so that only employees can see it. And then if an employee were to leave, you'd change the password. That's very easy to do from the admin side. And then under advanced is where you go in to put in special keywords. And this is bringing me to an important point here. Part of my job is to also help you today in creating a good website as far as being able to be found online through Google and other search engines. So this is one trick. So for each page, you can put in a page title. You just type it in. So for example, for this one, it would be probably the name of the business - testimonials. A page description, keep it simple, one sentence probably. And then your meta keywords. Meta keywords is a large part of how Google finds you, okay? And basically, just to try to explain this in as layman terms as possible, the way that you get found on Google, there is no magic bullet. And we've actually done an entire class on this, and if you'd like to, I will put a link. Let me make a little note of this. I will create a link and put it at the bottom, put it in the description of this video, called SEO for Weebly. Okay, so it's just going to kind of go through all the different things you really need to know in order to get found on Google. It's a lot of little tricks. So we have all that. So if you want, you can do this per page. It's really important that you do this for the whole website. And that part you're really going to do from the computer end, not so much from the iPad. Easier to type on a computer anyways, too. So let's hit save. We'll add that. Okay. The other thing you'll notice here is that you can move around the pages. And I'll tell you this, when I was, oh God, I think it was 13 or 14 years old, I was actually working with a website company building websites for small businesses. And the amount of code that we had to go through just to move, like, for example, testimonials from here to over here, my cursor keeps disappearing, to over here, that was like hours of work to make that one little change. Here's how easy it is here. Look at the bottom right. See how it says reorder? Tap that, drag contact to the bottom, save, and voila, you can move around the pages to be in whatever order you want. Standard, by the way, home is always first, about is next, contact is last, anything else is in the middle. That's kind of the standard format for most websites. So let's go back here to the website. I want to show you how to swap out information. Now you can see here it says double tap to add a headline. So if we're creating a bakery, okay, I'll tap on that, hit edit, and let's just call it David's Breads. Horrible name for a business. Lower the keyboard. Okay. Now, as far as getting the image swapped out, that's as easy, you probably guessed it, as tapping on the image. And when you do, that little edit button pops up. Tap edit. And at this point, it's going to pull up your photo library. Okay, so let's go to recently added. Here we have a whole bunch of different photos that I just kind of stole offline. So let's try to find one here that works. I can't remember which one of these is really wide, but we'll just try it out and see if it works. Hey, that worked out pretty well. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to save this image to all pages or just this page? Typically, I recommend the latter option. Just do this page. You don't want to have the same image on every single page of your website. You want to mix it up, keep it fresh. Okay, so that actually looks, not half bad. Now let's go through and let's start adding some different elements to this website. So let's go to Edit. And one of the things, a very kind of popular way to do this is underneath where you see this little header, this banner rather, you'd put usually around 3 items beneath that. Now some people prefer buttons that would take you to different types of ordering pages, maybe one for businesses, one for just, pick up in a store, something else like that. But other people would use images, and you really want to try to use as much imagery as possible. A website should be primarily photos and as minimal text as possible because people just don't read. Okay, you can always put plenty of text in the About page, but even with that, you really want to try your best to keep it simple. You want to just give them what they're looking to get. So let's go to Edit, and instead of adding buttons beneath this, I'm going to add images, and this is also going to give me the ability to kind of show you how to create a linked image so that when they click on it, it goes somewhere, and also how to kind of change around that image. So let's just drag image. I'm just dragging it beneath, okay, right there. It goes right to my photo library. It says, where is this image? So let's grab these right here. Okay, now obviously that image right there is a little too big for what we're going to do. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to resize in just a minute. But first we need to add in something else. So I'm going to take another image, and what I'm going to do is, you'll notice if my finger's up here, it's telling me that it's going to try to drop the image above it. But if I just drag to the right, see how it turns into that vertical blue line? Well, now it's going to place it next to it, and just by doing that, it's resized the other image. So let's go back to recently added, and let's take this one. There we go. Now those images are not even. Okay, so let's talk about how to edit them. It's very, very simple. Just tap on the image. You can see here we have a couple options to crop it, which in this case is actually going to work very, very well. But if you look there at towards the bottom of the image, okay, we have 3 little blue dots. We have one at the bottom right corner, we have one up here, and one here. Okay, so the one that's at the very bottom right corner, that's going to be to just kind of resize it. So let me give you an example. See how it's just kind of changing it however I want? Okay. That is one way to do it. So technically I could probably do about that. Granted, this I am doing entirely by eye. That's probably about closer. Option 2 is if I grab one of those other ones, like if I take the one at the very bottom in the center. Okay, see it's just cropping from the bottom. And likewise for the one on the right. So let's just keep it like that. I think we can actually, yep, that looks about right. So we've got our images here. Let's let people know what these actually do, okay? So what we're going to do next is we're going to add in some title text. And you could put this, of course, above or below. I think in this case I'm going to probably do it, I'm just going to do it below. But you can, of course, do whatever you want. I'm just going to drag that beneath image 1. And I'll hit Edit. And we'll call this French rolls. Now when I pull up the keyboard when I'm dealing with text, you'll see that we have a bunch of these extra tools that are above the keyboard. Let's start from the left here. So we have bold, italic, underline, the little A that's here. I can never ever remember what that is. Oh, that's right. That's to kind of change it up a little bit. You can use different colors right there. The little t, big T is to change over to change the size of it basically. So if I want to make this all larger, I could tap the plus. If I want to make it smaller, I'd hit the minus key. Over on the right hand side of the keyboard, we have your orientation. So if I tap on that, I can align it to the left, the center. Let's do center for this one. The icon you see next to that is link. You're going to see that pop up. It's kind of a pretty common symbol for when you're creating hyperlinks. So if I want to make it so that if they tap on either the photo or in this case the text, it takes them to a page that's all about French rolls. Okay, if I tap that button, I'm just going to tell it where is this connecting to. And then next to that we have different types of lists. We have a bulleted list and a numbered list, which we don't need right now. So let's hide that. Let's add some text here just to make it look pretty. Text, and we'll drop it right there. Okay. Is that right? Loaves? That's not, it's not loafs, it's loaves. Right? Right? Let's hope so. Okay, so we've got that. Now let's talk about how we're going to link this in. So really you want to make your website as simple as possible so that even if someone clicks on something the wrong way, you still need to bring them to the right place. So as I mentioned, if you click the link button for the text, that will take them to whatever page on your website that you want. Likewise, let's say I take this loaf. I can hit edit. And you'll see there's a link button right there. So I can just make it so that when they tap on that, it takes them to a different page. Lightbox, you really probably don't want with this kind of a thing. A lightbox is just going to make it so if they click on the image, it kind of blows it up so they can just see that one image. It's something you might do for something like a headshot, but not really necessary for this kind of thing. So we've got that. So that's I mean, you can see just from that how easy it is to create this kind of content. So now let's do this. Let's go into, I'm just going over my notes here, a couple other things I want to mention here. When I was going over edit in here, okay, and showing you the different items that you can add here, we taught this class live a few days ago, and someone brought up a question, which I didn't even think to include in the class, which has to do with this element right here, file. So you can make it right through Weebly so that they can download a file of some sort, whether that's, in this case, maybe a menu, maybe a catering option, that kind of thing. Really, you can make it whatever it is that you want. I want to give you a piece of advice. If you use that option right there to use a file, the downside to it is that you have to upload it to Weebly's server, and there's no real easy way to get at that file if you need to later on delete it or modify it, something like that. So my advice is probably don't use that feature. We've done classes before on Dropbox, and what's much easier is to create a linked file in Dropbox, and you can either use a button or an image like this and just link it up that way. If anyone needs help with that, we can kind of go over that towards the end. If you're here live and you need help with that, just mention it. I'll be happy to go over it. To show you a few other of these options, I'm going to go into the contact page now, and you can just tap on the page and it will go there. So let's hit edit on this page. Now for something like a contact page, you know, you really don't need a short header. I'm going to just switch to no header. Don't know why it's not updating. Come on. And go back to contact. It's not liking me today, apparently. Okay. I guess we will leave the header there. Some features I just found work better on the computer. So let's go back to build here, and I'm going to show you how to add in a few other things. It's really handy to add in a map to your website, especially if you do have a small business location. Just help people kind of visualize where it is that you are. So we're going to just take map here and drop it in. Okay. You have to put in the address. By simply tapping there, you can put in whatever address it is. You can choose how far zoomed in you want to be. Probably with this you want to be closer. Okay, let's do 16. So that gives people a pretty good idea of wherever this theoretical bakery may be. And you'll notice, again, it's taking up the entire page. You don't have to do that. What I would recommend doing in a contact page is giving, of course, people a way to get in touch with you. Now, there's two different ways to do this. I would like to give you a piece of advice. You can either put your email address out there, and when they click on your address, it opens up their email program, okay, and it's already addressed to you, and they type in whatever message they want. Option 2 is to use a contact form. A contact form is one of those things you have to do from the web end of Weebly. You can't do it from the iPad end. I don't really know the reason why, but I guess it's just more complex. And what's nice is you can customize it too. The big reason for doing that is spam. Now, I've used Weebly before. PC Classes Online actually used to have been, in the past, had been built with Weebly originally. That's including when we were on Shark Tank back in those days. We had used Weebly at that point in time to create the website. Then we eventually switched over to WordPress just because we needed a lot of customization that you just couldn't do in Weebly. So that was our reasoning for going over from one to the other. Where was I going with this? The other part, contact. But the other big reason is when you put your address out there, it only takes one company to take that address and then sell it to, a million other companies. So it's really better to use a form, because with a form, your address is hidden. You don't have to worry about getting spammed to death. It's not to say that you won't get any. From my own experience, I was probably getting 5 to 7 a week, because unfortunately, one strange part of Weebly is there is no CAPTCHA code. That's the part where you're filling out a form and it has those like crazy letters or numbers that you have to fill in. That's to prevent what are called bots, which is basically just a program that goes out and spams people to death from being able to send you a message. There is no CAPTCHA option at this point in time, so that's a downside, but it's not horrible, is what I found. So let's go back to edit here. So because we can't add in the form, I want to show you a few other things here. The social icons part, you can, if you want, you could do it here. The better option is to add that into the top part here, where it says contact testimonials, putting it up there. And that is yet another feature you can only do from the web end. Search box is already put in by default, just lets people search through your whole website. The other thing I want to mention here, which I can't believe I didn't mention already, has to do with these two options, HD video and YouTube. My advice, use YouTube for a couple of different reasons. First of all, you're trying to be found on Google. Who owns YouTube? Google. What is the #1 search engine? Google. What is the #2 search engine? YouTube. So you perhaps see a pattern here. The problem with doing the HD video is you're basically uploading a file and you're making the person who's watching it download the whole file as opposed to just simply streaming it. And YouTube has significantly better compression than anything you would probably have access to. So if you don't have a YouTube account, if you have a small business, this is one of the best tricks that you can use. Create a YouTube account, create a couple of little videos about your business, and make sure that in the description of that video, you must put your website URL. It's part of showing Google that you are legit. You're a real business because you have all these different sites that connect and link to your website. Okay, that's enough of that. What we're going to do is, for the people who are watching this on either YouTube or on our website, we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, I'm going to show you all of the extra features that you have access to through this from the web end. For those of you who are here live, stand by. Welcome back, folks. So we have loaded that same website that we started to build on the iPad now on the computer end. I asked the audience here if they had any questions kind of that I could start to answer. One of the questions I thought was actually pretty good was about what exactly are the paid options here with Weebly. If you go here to, let's go to compare plans. Let me show you that real quickly here. Okay, you can see here you have a starter package, a pro package, and a business package. Entirely depending on your business is going to depend on, determine which of these works best for you. I think probably starter is great for everyone. Pro, isn't bad. You can see there's a lot of different features here that you get in some that you don't get in others. One thing I want to mention for those of you who are a full business, what is nice about the business package here is this right here. You get SSL security, and SSL, well, it's a type of security. But this is becoming increasingly more and more important with Google as far as ranking. So if you're in one of those types of businesses that is extremely competitive and it's going to be tough to get to the top of the list, this might give you that extra little boost to get there. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of different options here. We don't have time to go over all of them, but I just want to show you where to go to get them. So now that we're here in the build end of the web version, I want to show you all of the extra things that you don't get in the iPad version. For example, you can have a slideshow. That's pretty cool. I've done a bunch of these websites with realtors, just realtors who want to have an easy way to be able to add photos, and with this, it's great. You can still take the photos with your iPad, but then just load them in through a slideshow from the web end. You can add a contact form, which I'll show you in a minute. For those of you who are code nuts, okay, you can embed code right here. So for example, one of the things I wanted to give you all a little tip about, if you need a really complex form filled out where someone's maybe even uploading files, that kind of thing, there's this little service out there called Jotform, jotform.com, and they give you a ton of different options. They have a free version and a paid version, but if you need something really complex, basically with them you create the form and you just drop the code into the website with this. You literally drag and drop this into the website and just paste. That's it. You don't need to know code in order to embed it. Structure items here, those are all pretty much the same. Media, it's basically the same, except we also have a document and Flash item here. I would like to give you a piece of advice. Do not embed Flash. You're going to really start to slim down your audience, because as soon as you add in Flash, now you can't view that website on an iPhone or an iPad. They do have e-commerce solutions built into Weebly. We're going to go over those. So this is actually using their own little platform, which I'll show you. That's in the highest end that you can get with them. Also, you can embed Google AdSense. I don't recommend it. It's great if you have maybe 1 million viewers, a month. You'll get a couple extra bucks out of it. But I mean, technically, even if I look at myself, PC Classes Online, our website as of today's date gets about 500,000 hits a month. I don't use Google AdSense on the website itself because I just find it to be a distraction, and I find it kind of cheapens what I'm trying to do. There's also these tie-ins to other web services, and then I don't know why they threw block quote in here, because it doesn't really go with the rest of these items here. You can add a poll into your website. This is actually using a service called PollDaddy, which is a very oddly named service, because it just, well, you can all go figure out where I'm going with that. An RSVP form. You can add social icons, which we've already mentioned that. Survey. You can add an RSS feed reader, forms, and booking ability. So if you're something like, let's say, a massage therapist, very, very easy way to do it. Now, some of these do cost extra. Okay, just kind of play with them and you'll find out immediately if they do cost extra. But let's go back to that contact page so I can show you how to build in that contact form, because that's something I think everyone's going to probably need. So scrolling back up here to the basics menu, I have contact form. I'm just going to literally drag it and drop it to the left. And when I click into this form, you'll see here I get a couple of different things here. First of all, I have form options right here. So when I click that, I can choose, whoopsie, I'll have to block that out, what email address that goes to. Sorry, that was my email address. But also I can configure the confirmation screen, so when they hit the submit button, it can give them a little message saying, thank you, your information has been submitted. Or optionally, you can take them to a separate website. Okay? I don't know why you'd want to do that for a contact form. The submit button, you can choose what side to have it on. Okay, spacing options. But also, if you look here on the left-hand side, oops, we have a whole bunch of different additional fields that we can now add in. We can add in short text. So, for example, I don't know, if they want to put in color configuration options for something. Large text box, so they want to write you like a little paragraph, for example, like the comment section here. Options, so it's going to be this or that. Alternatively, you can do a drop-down box, which is a little bit more space-friendly. It takes up less space. Check boxes, so that would be something like where you're going to have multiple options. File upload, okay? If you need the person to be able to send you a file, they can do that using this feature. See the little star? That means you have to have one of the paid accounts in order to do that feature. They have pre-made fields here for name, email, address, and phone number. So literally, if I want to add this in, I just drag it and drop it. Let's put it beneath email. Okay, and there it is. Divider options, again, if you just need to space it out a little bit, you can add extra space between sections here. And then you can add additional text, titles, images, or even additional embed code at this point. I don't really know what kind of embed code you put into a form, but hey, you can if you want it. And then just simply hit save. One thing to be aware of here is, see it says form name, okay? You really want to make sure that that is, that's going to be the subject, okay? It's going to have to do with the subject when they send you the message, okay? It's going to say that it's coming in from your website contact form. So make sure whatever it is, you don't want it to be a title that's going to go to spam, obviously. So we've got that. And that's all you need to do, a contact form. That alone is going to help cut down on your junk mail. It's not going to eliminate it because, unfortunately, again, there is no CAPTCHA code option. I wish there was. I hope they add it at some point in time, but as of today's date, it's not an option, unfortunately. So let's go over a few other little things here. Go back to, let's see, design. Here in design, I want to show you this. So by clicking on the design tab, you can change elements of the entire website with one click. Let's go back to the home page so I can demonstrate this a little bit better. This isn't going to show great. So there are some colors here. Like if you look at the color of home right now, see how it's green? Okay, I can switch over to these other options and it'll change the whole theme of the website to be like a blue theme, a black theme, kind of a turquoise, whatever you want. The other thing that you can do is you can change the whole theme of the website, meaning go to one of these other templates, okay? And you will notice when you go to choose the different templates through the web, there's a lot more options. Now, some of these may have elements that you cannot edit on the iPad version, but I think it's still probably a really good idea to just look at these templates on the web before you go choosing one on your iPad. Because what it may be, like let's say this theme here really appeals to you, okay? It's very, very modern, very slick, okay? You can choose this theme and whatever elements of it that you can't edit from your iPad, you can just do on your computer. And then everything else you can fine tune and tweak from your iPad. Okay, so it's a really good idea to look here first. And you look, I'm still scrolling through all these different templates. There's a ton. For those of you out there who are a little bit more advanced users, I would like to also show you an additional option here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open two different tabs and show you something here. The first is my website. Okay, this is my small business that I have, and this is actually built within Weebly. Okay, and if you watch that header, or this little thing here, see how it kind of whoosh transitions over? That's part of a custom template, okay, which you cannot get directly through Weebly. But I want to show you how to get some of these extra options. Again, you do need to be a little bit techie to be able to do this. So there's this guy who creates these really amazing templates, and I'm blanking on his name right now. I want to say it's Jason, but it's divtagtemplates.com, link in the description of the video. And you can find these really amazing templates, including ones with like video backgrounds. You'll see that now on a lot of high-tech websites. Okay, let's just go to view all templates. Let's go to the showcase. No, let's not do that. Let's do all in one. No, mix and match. Template design wizard. So you can kind of tell it a little bit about your business. So let's say we're doing a business service, okay? They ask, what kind. Let's say we're doing real estate, okay? And some of these are just like really, really amazing templates. Like for example, let's just take a look at this one. If you click on it, it expands up there. It just looks really, really slick. And a lot of these have different animation options in them. It just really, really makes it look very expensive, very, very professional. That's divtagtemplates.com. You do need to have, like I said, some expertise because you're going to have to deal with coding a little bit when you deal with this. Let's see. Went over design options. Let's go back here. You can also change the fonts around. So if you really don't like this font right here, with one click you can change it up. Okay, so what's nice with doing this through the web version that you can't get with the iPad version, you'll notice that as I kind of drag over these different options here, it actually shows me what is what. So when I am hovered over headline, it shows me that's what corresponds with David's Bread. So if I click on that, I can say, oh God, no, let's get away from that font. Let's go with cabin. Okay, ooh, much more bold. I can change the actual size of the font. So if I want it to be bigger, and probably put an apostrophe at some point in there, I can do that. Very, very simple. So again, the initial build, by all means, feel free to do it on your iPad, but tweak it and customize it from the web end. There's other options here for things like your footers, your media, all of this stuff here. Let's go under Pages. Okay. This is basically pretty much everything here I believe is the same as what you can deal with on the iPad end. So as far as reordering these pages, if I want testimonials to be last, it's literally drag and drop. Another feature though that I should show you that I actually didn't even think to mention is let's say under About, let's pretend this About page is about the business, and then we want to create a separate page that's about the owner. Watch this. I'm going to hit the plus add button. We'll do a standard page. I'm going to say about, oops, if I can spell it, about the owner. Okay. So watch this. On the web end, I can drag this underneath About, and check this out. If I drag it to the right, it's a sub page. So in other words, when I go to the actual website, watch this. When I hover over About, it gives me that drop down option. Okay, and you can add as many of those as you want. I don't believe there's an actual limit. But then again, you wouldn't want too many. So that's kind of a cool feature I wanted to show you there. Another feature that I love about Weebly that you don't get with a lot of other services here is for no additional charge, you can get a mobile website. Check out how easy this is. We're going to go up here to Settings, okay? And from here, all we have to do is scroll down and check this out. Literally, all you have to do is one checkbox right here, Mobile. It's going to create an entire version of this website that's built for mobile phones, devices, that kind of thing. Okay, so let me show you this. If you look at the top right corner, see here we're on desktop view. I'm going to switch over to mobile view. Okay, and now this is how it would look on an iPhone. So I have a menu button up here. Okay, it gives me the same content. But what's nice is that you can actually customize this content. So like if I don't care about certain elements here, okay, I can remove them from the mobile version, but keep them on the web version, which is very, very handy. One thing you really do want to make sure you have, for those of you who have a physical business, always put the phone number on the homepage, because that way someone on a mobile phone can just tap on the number and call you. Just handy little trick. Okay. I don't have a phone number listed here. That's why it's not there. Let's switch back to desktop view. I want to go back here to settings and show you a few other little things here. SSL is turned off. Site password. Nope, that's all good. Here under archive, okay, if you want to create a zipped file of your website just for security purposes, you can do that. You just type in your email address. They'll send you a link to where you can download the whole website. That way, God forbid, if it ever got hacked, you're safe. You can re-upload it. You're good to go. SEO. Okay, very important here as far as getting found. This is the SEO for the entire website, not an individual page. So you want to put your site description, and you want to make sure you have, all of your keywords in there. So the name of your business, possibly the location. Meta keywords. Now, keywords can be more than one word. So it could be, David's Bakery, it could be either David as a keyword and bakery, but I can also have David's Bakery be a keyword, comma, and then the next one. All of these keywords or key phrases are separated by a comma. Go nuts. But make sure that your most important ones are at the forefront. So name of business and location. Footer code is going to really help you when dealing with Google. I believe we covered all that in our SEO options for Weebly. But basically, when you're telling Google to kind of validate your location, they're going to give you a little piece of code that you have to drop into the footer. And then that's how Google can track you and find you. Okay. The editors button right here is for if you want someone else to come in on your website. Let's say, for example, you're a business, but you also have a blog part of your website. You can add an editor who only has the ability to update the blog, but not like take down the whole website. Okay, in case that employee goes rogue on you. So this is a nice option to be aware of, and you can set different permissions for different people. They have their own login. It's separate from yours, and you can tell them what they can and cannot do. You can add a blog. It's very, very easy. If you'd like, I can show you that in just a little bit. Store. This is an important feature to go over. I wanted to talk about this. Selling products online. There are multiple ways to do it, okay? One of the ways is to, in fact, use Weebly. Now, the situation where I feel this would probably be best is for people who are shipping products, okay? And it's being shipped directly by you. It is easy. It's not the least expensive option on the planet, but it is easy, okay? And so with this, you have to have a account with them. You set up the different items that are available for sale. You can attach a weight to each unit, and so then basically based on the weight, it calculates the shipping. Okay, you can put in taxes, all of that information right here, emails, but it's really, really easy to add in a card so that they can add products and you can sell online. It's not hard to do. It just takes time is really what it comes down to. The other feature, someone was asking about this during the class we did on Wednesday, was about using PayPal. Yes, you can do that. The page that you're looking at right here is if you log into PayPal, there's a button at the top that says Merchant Services. I didn't want to go to that page directly. This is what you get when you click on Merchant Services. Just didn't want all of my information to be out there on the web. And from here, you'd create a PayPal button, most likely. And if you hit create button, there's different options here. You can do buy now, add to cart. Okay, it's really not that hard to do. But when you do create a button, oops, timed out, darn. When you do create a button, it's going to give you code. And so all you would literally do is, like, let's say this right here is to buy French rolls. You take the embed code here, drop it in, okay? You click, paste the code that PayPal gives you, and when you click outside of this box, it'll turn it into a PayPal button. It's really, really easy. I've had different feelings about PayPal over the years, and when we went to a program with PC Classes Online where people could give a donation to support what we're doing, we gave them the option of doing that or using a service called GoFundMe. 90% of the donations that we get in are through PayPal. So, regardless of however you may feel about PayPal, it is easy, and a lot of people have it. They're international. There's no real boundaries with that kind of thing. So it's something just to be aware of. Another option I want to make you aware of is Square. Now, another company, people have different emotions about this company. What I do like about Square is specifically for the types of businesses that are going to have products that people are going to pick up. For example, I actually used this 2 days ago. We have a little place here where I live that has, like dumplings, Chinese dumplings. And they use Square to integrate with their website. It's really easy, but it allows me to pay for the product online. It sends them, the notification. We had delivery options, but then you can just walk in and pick it up. It's really, really easy. So for something like a cafe, a bakery, something like that, Square is another option to kind of explore. And when you go to their website, just scroll down here and you'll see there's a button that says Pick Up. Okay, and that'll kind of give you an idea of the different features that they have access to. Let's see here. Oh, and that's my other link that I don't need anymore. So that's about it for that element here. There's a couple other little quick notes I wanted to give you all. If part of this is overwhelming to you, there is another option here. And the other option is to have a website designer who's a professional build your site specifically using Weebly, so that you can maintain it. You can be the one to do the maintenance, but you have them make it look awesome. I would like to give a shout out to a colleague of mine. I do not get a commission for doing this. He's a good person. I love him. He's on my team. He's a giant force behind PC Classes Online. He helped build our website. And actually, we're going to be flying this gentleman to Cape Cod to teach classes on WordPress this summer. His name is Mark Collier. If you want to check him out, he does build Weebly websites, and then what he does is gives it over to you so that you can maintain it. Mark's website is bigbluedesigns.com. He's a nice guy. He is very busy. I will let you know that. But he's a really nice person, and I like working with nice people. And this, it says window graphics, but if you go to his portfolio, he does business cards, he does flyers, he does everything. But one of the true geniuses that I'm very, very fortunate to have on my team. Looks like it's slow to load. Anyways, oh, there it was. Yeah. So his email is just simply mark@bigbluedesigns.com, or you can just use his little contact form. Hopefully he won't kill me for giving out his email address. So I wanted to give that out to all of you. And of course, all of the links that I mentioned in today's class, I will put in the description of the website, of this video rather. So what I'm going to do is stick around for a little bit and answer the questions of the people who are out here live. Again, if any of you want to come to one of our live classes, there's no fee. There's no hidden charges of any kind. PCClassesonline.com gets you all of the info. And that's all from me, everyone. If you like this video, please, please, please leave us a comment in the sections below. And if you want, you can like the video if you're watching us on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be informed whenever we come out with new classes. This is David A. Cox with PCClassesonline.com. Class dismissed.